You're not panicking. You're not spiraling. You're not in crisis. You're actually functioning, and probably pretty well. But that's what makes this dangerous, because there's a version of tension that doesn't look dramatic, doesn't send you to therapy, doesn't blow up your marriage, doesn't cost you your job. It just hums, low level, constant. You wake up with it, you drive with it, you work with it, you sleep next to it, and after a while, you even stop noticing it. But your body doesn't. Capable men rarely collapse. They sharpen. Capable men rarely collapse. They sharpen. You probably don't shut down under pressure. You narrow, you get efficient, focused, shorter. You feel slightly braced, not overwhelmed, just ready. But ready for what? You're not sure either. But your system is on standby. Shoulders slightly elevated, jaw is tight, your breath is shallow, your mind is just scanning everything. And nothing is wrong, but nothing fully powers down. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You've normalized a baseline your body was never designed to sustain. You see, your nervous system operates in two dominant modes: activation and recovery. Activation sharpens attention, mobilizes energy, prepares you for action. On the other hand, recovery restores. It repairs, it resets. And healthy systems oscillate between the two. Capable men often live in mild activation, not fight or flight, just readiness. Low-grade sympathetic tone, enough to keep you alert, keep you productive, keep you scanning, but not enough to trigger alarm bells. This is where it gets deceptive, because it feels like discipline. It feels like drive. It feels like leadership. But biologically, it's incomplete recovery, and incomplete recovery just compounds. You don't feel it as exhaustion. You feel it as edge. You feel it as tightness. You feel it as narrowing. And that narrowing starts to shape the way you show up. Low-level tension hides in competence. You still perform, you still provide, you still show up. But over time, something shifts. Your patience shortens. Your listening decreases. Your tolerance narrows. You become efficient with tasks, but impatient with people. You're not angry. You're just less soft, less spacious, less available. And because nothing catastrophic happens, you assume everything is fine. But tension that doesn't discharge doesn't disappear. It embeds. It becomes tone. It becomes posture. It becomes the way people experience you. And you start saying things like, that's just how I am. No, it's not. That's how long-term activation shapes you. And here is where capable men get trapped. You mistake edge for strength. You mistake tension for standards. You mistake tightness for control. You think, if I relax, I'll slip. If I soften, I'll lose my edge. If I downshift, something will drop. So you stay braced slightly, but nonetheless. Not because you need to, because you're afraid of what happens if you don't. And most disciplined men won't admit fear. They call it something like responsibility, but underneath it, there's often distrust. Distrust that things will hold without constant vigilance. And there's a cost of living slightly braced constantly. Low-level tension rarely explodes, but it erodes. It erodes joy, spontaneity, play, curiosity, presence. You don't laugh as easily. You don't rest as deeply. You don't listen as patiently. You're still good, but you're not open. And over years, that shapes your relationships. Your kids don't experience crisis from you. They experience edge. Your wife doesn't feel chaos. She feels emotional guardedness. Your team doesn't see burnout. They see pressure. You become the steady one. but not the relaxed one. And those are not the same thing. Every system that sustains output builds in recovery. Professional athletes train hard, then they recover harder. Muscle grows and rests, not under load. The heart contracts, then releases. Breath expands, then exhales. Life oscillates. Constant activation without recovery is not strength. It's depletion in disguise. The healthiest nervous systems are not defined by constant calm. They are defined by adaptability. They can ramp up when necessary and fully ramp down when safe. If you can't ramp down, you're not strong. You're stuck in gear. And there's a principle beneath it. You have limits. You have the responsibility to work and to rest, to lead and to release. Constant edge often reveals something deeper, an unwillingness to trust that things will hold without your tension. You are designed for faithful effort, not constant vigilance, and there's a difference. And capable men oftentimes blur that line. So instead of checking your shoulders again, let's check your patterns. When plans change, what happens in you? When someone disagrees, what happens in you? When nothing urgent is happening, can you downshift? Or do you reach for your phone, your work, your next task? That's your baseline, not your crisis response. Your baseline. And your baseline determines the tone of your life. Real strength isn't constant intensity. It's controlled engagement. It's being able to say, I don't need to brace right now, and meaning it. It's being able to sit in silence without scanning. It's being able to rest without guilt. It's being able to loosen without losing identity. That's advanced strength. And unfortunately, very few men train it. Here's the difference between capable men and calibrated men. Capable men live on edge and call it excellence. Calibrated men know when to disengage the edge. One builds a strong decade, the other builds a strong life. If you recognize yourself in this, don't tighten. Experiment. Practice downshifting. Notice where you brace when you don't need to. And if you're ready to operate without constant edge, without confusing tension for drive, the next step is below. Not to make you softer, to make you sustainable. Because strength that cannot relax is not strength, it's strain.